I have missed you guys so much. Oh my goodness. Welcome back to season 4 of the Sad to Savage podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I know some of you have been with me since season 1, since literally day 1. And I know some of you might have found me through recommendations from friends or just from looking online. However long you've been here or however you got here, I am so happy that you're here. I love sharing my life with you and I love getting to talk to you guys. My name is Shelby Sacco Spinnick, and I'm the host of the Sad to Savage podcast. Now, not only is this my podcast, but this is also my brand and really my entire life story and purpose. Sad to Savage really describes how I've been able to change and grow through habits and routines. I'm so excited for this season because now not only am I filming video, which if you guys want to watch along with the episodes, you can. I'll link it in the description of this episode, but I also feel like I'm entering a new era and a new chapter of my life. And it's so fun getting to bring you guys along for that journey to learn and to grow alongside me. If you're watching a video, you'll see I have my computer out. One of my degrees in college was in journalism. The other was in criminal justice, but I love writing. I actually have something really exciting happening in my life involving writing. But anytime that I do a podcast episode, I like to write out a bunch of notes. So I'll be referencing them throughout the episode if you're watching and you see me on my computer. I also got really used to writing out my episodes because I love like detail and learning and making sure I don't miss anything. But then also a little bit of lore. I had a lawsuit and I had to really watch what I would say when I was podcasting in season 2 and 3. So it was actually, I think just season 2. So I got really used to writing everything out so I didn't misspeak or get myself in some trouble. We'll also get into my lawsuit lore in depth this season. I know you guys have so many questions on it. And if you haven't heard of me before or heard of my lawsuit lore, you're probably confused. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Now, my Sad to Savage journey started back in 2020. And the biggest thing that I've learned over the last 5 years is that when you choose yourself and you commit to building a better life for yourself, that journey never stops. I think a lot of the times, or at least like looking back on the last 5 years, I thought it was this, oh, I'm going from sad to savage. Once I get to savage, like I'm set. But what I've learned is that your life is going to change. You're going to grow. You're going to change what you want. You're going to have new experiences, and you are always on that journey. And the most important thing is choosing yourself, choosing to change your life, choosing to believe that you will. I have had so many highs and so many lows over the last 5 years. And looking back, my choice to go from sad to savage, to change my life, to learn about my habits, to learn about my routines, to commit to myself, it has gotten me through every single hard moment. It has gotten me to every single great moment. The choice that I made for myself 5 years ago, which was a small choice to slowly start changing my life and pull myself out of the depths of rock bottom, it has impacted every area of my life today. And that is what I want for you, to be able to look back in 5 years and be like, thank goodness that I made that one choice that changed my entire life. Another thing that I learned reflecting on the last 5 years is that choosing to work on yourself and to take ownership of your own life and to invest time, energy, and effort into making it what you want it to be will be the most important thing you ever choose to do. Focusing on yourself, working on yourself, investing in yourself. I want to share a little bit about me before diving into what you can expect from me in season 4 of this podcast. Season 3 kind of ended a little bit abruptly, which I'm so sorry. I'm like, bye, you guys. I gotta take a break. I was planning what you guys now know was 3 weddings. I had one planned wedding, one surprise, and one that kind of happened upon us. And I loved all of them so much. And I also had the biggest growth in one of my businesses that I've ever experienced. And while I took a pause from my podcast, I'm like looking back, I should have been locked up. I was losing my mind. But I do believe in life there are times and periods where you are going to experience such growth that you don't know what to do, that there's a period that you have to figure it out. But anyway, I had that busy period. I learned so much from it. I can't wait to teach you guys, and I'm just happy to be back. Now, a little bit about me. I'm 28 years old. My name is Shelby Sacco Spinnick. It was Shelby Leah Sacco, the way that I almost just forgot my name, but I'm changing it to Shelby Sacco Spinnick. I got married to my husband, Jake, on August 16th, August, I think 30th, and September 27th of this year. I'm a Pisces. My birthday is March 5th. I'm one of 6 kids. You guys, I think I'm a little bit out of breath, honestly, because I'm drinking a grape Celsius, so please bear with me. I'm one of 6 kids. I'm the second oldest, and I consider myself one of the oldest. Like, me and my older sister Rachel are the oldest. The middle two, Sophia and Bella, are the middle children, and then Lily and Lucci are the youngest children. That's kind of how we split up our family. In my family, it's 5 girls, and then the youngest is my brother Lucci. We are like, my family is my entire life. My siblings are my entire life. My niece and my nephew are the entire world to me. If there's anything to know about me, it is that I am a sister first and foremost. Like, that is who I am at my core. My family is everything to me. A little bit more on me is I own 2 businesses. I own Sad to Savage, and I'm also co-owner of a company named Rootify, which is in the supplement space. I'm an influencer. I love the color purple. I love working out. I was born and raised in Michigan. I'm here for life. So was my husband. We actually were family friends. So his parents have known me since I was 5 years old, which is really crazy. I love reading. I love writing. I just finished Fourth Wing, which I am obsessed with, and I'm working on a really fun project that involves writing right now. I became an influencer in 2022 when I started sharing my Sad to Savage journey and how I had changed my life through creating intentional, healthy habits and routines. I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight into that time in my life. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you've probably heard this story. But 5 years ago in 2020, I had hit what I call my rock bottom, where every single area of my life I was struggling. I had gained a lot of weight and lost all my confidence. I didn't fit into my clothes. I was struggling. I was in an unhealthy relationship. I was living in my parents' basement. My ex actually treated me like a $6 Subway sandwich, and I low-key kind of have beef with him right now. Like, looking back, I'm like, what was that all about? I was working a job that I did not like. I was really not applying myself. I was making no money. I was sleeping in every single day. I did not take care of my body. I did not have healthy eating habits. I did not do anything for a healthier life. I struggled with binge drinking. I just did not take care of myself, and my body and my mind reflected that. I started really struggling with negative thoughts, just thinking like scary things, and I really hated everything. I hated my body, I hated my life, I hated my relationship, I hated my situation. I was just this negative, sad, struggling person at the end of the day. Now, I had never up until this time in my life struggled with my mental health, and 2 of my sisters had struggled with mental health. And I got this new perspective of, oh my gosh, my siblings, they could be thinking or having the same thoughts that I'm having. It scared me into changing my entire life, because I decided that if I could figure out how to help my brain, if I could figure out how to change my life, I could teach them, and then from there I could save them. Looking forward from that moment, that is exactly what I've been able to do for me, for my siblings, and also for hundreds of millions of people, which is the craziest thing in the entire world. It is insane to me. What I decided to do was turn to Amazon and buy a book, because I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to change my life. I just knew now I needed to. And I got a book by the grace of God called The Power of Habits. Once I got that book, I read it and I said, and you know what? What do I have to lose? This man named Charles Duhigg is telling me that this science will help me change my life, and I'm going to trust him. Seriously, what could I lose? I'm going to trust the science. This guy seems really smart. There's a lot of like citations in this book. He's got to be onto something, right? And from there, I decided I would try to wake up just a little bit earlier to start going on a walk. My biggest insecurity was my body and my weight. I didn't feel confident anymore. I didn't fit in my clothes. I was not taking care of myself. So I understand how I felt that way. And I was also sleeping in, like, I was sleeping through morning meetings at work, which is so funny looking back, because I love work. Like, I love work. I've understood and found myself, my purpose, my passion. I'm so happy. I'm obsessed with work. I'm like, there was a time where I was literally sleeping with my camera off on a morning meeting. That is insane to me. But anyway, I was also working 3 jobs at this time. So I started waking up a little bit earlier, like 15 to 20 minutes earlier, learned how to create the habit of it, and I started going on a quick walk. I started feeling so much better mentally, physically. From there, I was like, you know what? I learned about habit stacking. I'm going to start listening to a self-improvement book while I'm on this walk. And from there, that small choice, that small way that I started showing up for myself has created this beautiful life that I have now. I have a mind that is so healthy and so happy. I have a body that is happy and healthy. I have a relationship, a husband who treats me Like I am the love of his life. Like I deserve to be treated. I have an incredible business. I have employees that I'm obsessed with. I have a beautiful morning routine, a beautiful nighttime routine. I work out. I have beautiful eating habits. I have beautiful relationships. Everything is so beautiful now because of the choice I made 5 years ago. That small choice, right? Started with waking up a little bit earlier and turned into this new person, this new identity, this new life, these new feelings, this new body. Because all you need to do is start with one small choice. And that's what Sad to Savage is, right? I was in this place and I knew I wanted to get out of it. And I started. I started that too, Sad to Savage, that journey. And that moment, that choice, that is what I want you to make coming out of this episode, coming out of this season, coming out of just any conversation that we get to have, is knowing that you can change your life. You deserve to change your life. You have the power to change everything in your world. It's not going to be immediate and it's not going to be the easiest, quickest little thing, but you can do it and you will look back and thank yourself. So just keep that in mind when we go through this episode. I went on a little bit of a tangent, which if you've listened to my podcast before, you know the side notes go absolutely crazy. But moral of the story is I decided to change my life by using habits and routines. And I have since then grown tenfold in every area. You will thank yourself for the one choice that you make to get started. Now, besides, obviously, there's so much that's missing in that story because I went from waking up a little bit earlier to 5 years later, not even 5 years, pretty quickly after that, having a 5 a.m., 4 hour morning routine, to being my own boss, to losing however much weight, to just, there are so many things that happened within that story that we will get to specifically and intentionally teaching throughout this podcast series. But I just wanted to give a little bit of a background on me, the transformation that happened with my mental health, physical health, finances, relationship, the future that I've been able to build for myself and my husband, the millions of people that have learned and that are a part of this journey with me. Like I'm a very normal person who figured something special out, who now we get to do this together. And I just want to emphasize that if I could do this, if I could change my life in all of these beautiful ways, why couldn't you? You can. You can. The one key thing looking at my story is I just decided one day to trust it. I just decided one day to do it. And that's all I'm asking of you through this podcast episode and just through this next couple of 20 minutes. I want you to adjust your brain to know that you can change your life. Now, if you follow me online and you're coming to my podcast kind of just from my social profiles, you know that I love sharing my life and just little moments from my life along with habits and routines. And one big reason why I like that is because I just get to show that I practice what I preach. I like showing my morning routine and I like showing that you can have fun with building a healthier life for yourself. You can mess up, you can fail, you can learn, you can grow, you can do it all because that's part of the journey. In season 4 of the podcast, I'm committed to teaching you, but I'm also committed to growing alongside you. I'm really excited. This season, we'll be following a fun little mini series of different specific habits, routines, or areas that we're going to focus on and improve. And while I do believe that I'm an expert in the field of habits and routines, I do think that I could grow, I could learn. I'm constantly taking new classes, constantly reading new books. And I thought that it'd be really fun if we got to do it together throughout this series. I thought it'd be a really fun way to kind of challenge myself too. Another thing that I want to do with this season is just kind of show the human side of myself. So while I've gone from sad to savage, the journey is not linear. There's so many ups and downs, and I want to be able to share more of those downs and how I've learned from them. And I also just want to emphasize that I am if I could do it, you can do it. Now, wait, let me take a step back. Every person in life has different circumstances. Every person has different experiences, different things that happen to them, different life situations, different environments that they're raised in. And some people have an advantage, some people have a disadvantage. But what I'm saying at the end of the day, whether one person can choose themselves 100% and you can only choose yourself 5%, that 5% means something. That 5% is special. That 5% will grow and you will thank yourself. You will thank God that you looked at it instead of looking at all the reasons why you couldn't. That 5%, that 1% of why you could. I digress. Now, I did say earlier that I'm a sister first and foremost. That is like who I am at my core. On my gravestone, I would want it to say sister. Wait, why am I going to cry? I am so committed to my siblings. I can't put it into words, but that is how I feel about you guys. The way that I would give anything and everything for them is the same thing. I want the world for them the way that I want the world for you. I want to teach you, I want to help you, and I want you to believe in yourself. Sad to Savage, what it means to me is that it is a journey that you are committing to and that you are going on. And that is what I'm so excited about. Season 4 is this journey that we get to start and do together. And before we dive into the bulk of today's episode, I just wanted to tell you that I am so happy that you are here. I love you. I believe in you. I'm committed to helping you grow. And I'm just so excited that some way, somehow, my experience, your life, we have kind of just come together in this moment and we've been brought together for some reason to learn, to understand, to grow, to hit this next level of our lives, of our potential. And I just really like that we get to do it together. You can change your life. You are capable and you will. Now, the mini series that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to share it on social media too, kind of in a shorter form and then longer form here on podcast episodes. And each week I'll introduce a topic that we're going to go over. We'll talk through the goal, the outcome of the episode. We'll go into some like psychology tips. I'll talk about books or things that I read to research for the episode. I also am going to provide little worksheets. What you guys will know if you listen to my podcast is that I will give you homework every single episode. I'll say, okay, now pause this and write this down or do this or do that. Each episode, what I want to do is have in the description of the episode a little thing that you can download, and anything that I say, oh, do this for homework, it will be written out there just so it's a little bit easier. Also, I'm someone who will like listen to a podcast while driving or walking. So I want you guys to be able to listen and absorb, but then have a spot to write it out and visually see it and work on it. I am really excited for this season because it gives me a chance to kind of research, grow, and learn myself on different topics. There are some things I could literally talk about for like hours and hours, but then there are other things that I'm like, wait, I would love to learn more about that. I would love to have more tips on that. I'd love to like just take time to sit and talk about it and study it and just like grow from it. In today's episode, we're going to talk about going from sad to savage, and we're going to break it down in a small way so that you have an action, a step that you can take right now in your life that is that first step, right? It's not the whole bulk of going from sad to savage, the whole journey. It's what is one small takeaway we can discuss that will help you change your life now, that will help you take that first step, that'll help you start the journey. Also, in season 4, I've made some big girl business moves and I've been able to monetize my podcast. So I will have some ads, and I appreciate you guys listening to them and just letting me grow my podcast and take this to the next level. And now we're going to have a quick break for an ad. I love my nighttime routine. I'm constantly looking for ways to elevate my routine as well as just romanticize it a little bit more. I recently got bamboo sheets from Cozy Earth and I have been obsessed with them. These sheets are incredible and I'm so impressed. Not only are they comfortable, but they give me a great night's sleep, which is essential to my morning routine. They're made from viscose from bamboo. They naturally wick away heat and moisture from your body, which helps you sleep several degrees cooler, which is so crucial to me because you guys know I am a sweaty girl. I also think that the bamboo sheets would also be an incredible gift this holiday season. I'm a really big practical gift giver. I love practical gifts myself and I love giving them. They're also a gift that will last longer than the holiday season. This is a risk-free purchase because they offer a 100-night sleep trial. So try them out. If you don't love them, you can return them hassle-free, but trust me, you will not want to return them. They also come with a 10-year warranty. I love good like customer service, good policies like this. And also, Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth. Right now, you can stack my code SAVAGE on top of their site-wide sale, which will give you 40% off in savings, which is crazy. That's SAVAGE at cozyearth.com. Code SAVAGE for 40% off in savings. Now, these deals will not last, so start your holiday shopping today. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention that you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Again, that is cozyearth.com/savage for up to 40% off. Anyway, back to the podcast. What I want to do in this episode is I want you to label what your sad phase looks like. You heard a little bit about mine, right? Then we're going to come up with what our savage looks like. What are we working towards? And then from there, we'll work backwards to the journey. And we'll say, okay, what habit do we need to do? What is one small thing, one small little baby step habit that we can start going or start doing every day to go from sad to savage. Now, my actual sad to savage journey, it started with waking up a little bit earlier and going on a walk, right? That was what my little diagram would look like. Sad to savage. Sad, all those things I was struggling with. The two was waking up a little bit earlier, going on a walk. And then the savage was this version of me that I am now, right? Someone who was healthy, happy, confident, who felt good in their clothes, who didn't have dark negative thoughts, who believed in herself, right? Right now in my life, my two phase, my journey probably has like 30 to 50 different things in it now. But over the last 5 years, I've worked towards getting there. You will get there too, but we are going to start. That two phase, we just need one little thing in there. Okay, that's what we're going to focus on. Going from sad to savage doesn't necessarily just mean going from depressed to confident. It is the gap, it is the story, it is the journey, right? It is that in between. It's really going from who you are right now and figuring out what you have to do to become who you know you can be. Now, sad for you doesn't have to be rock bottom like it was for me. It could be being tired, waking up tired, feeling lost, being inconsistent, not liking your habits, not liking your life, not liking your thoughts, not taking care of your body. It could be feeling stuck or just wanting to feel unstuck. It could be just feeling lost or like you've lost a certain version of yourself or like you just want to improve. You just want to work on yourself. And then savage might not be your idea, might not be the same as my idea, right? Savage could be showing up for yourself or building discipline or learning how to do what you say you're going to do. Learning small tools that help you day to day, learning how to be a better mom, learning how to be a better sister, learning how to feel more confident. It could be rebuilding, it could be failing or learning how to fail and get back up and try again. It could be creating habits that help you for your future. It could be no longer being controlled by old patterns or moods or getting out of survival mode. Savage is you choosing your life instead of letting life happen to you. The two, again, that is how you're going to get there. So going from sad to savage is not one big leap. It is through small, boring, consistent habits that help you rewire and shift to align with your new identity. And going from sad to savage is a strategy. It's not a mood. It's not something that you're going to rely on motivation for. It is a lifestyle change and shift that you show up for regardless of how you feel. It's something that you're working towards. And also, we want to make it this first stage that we're going to work on as easy as possible, as attractive as possible, something that we can keep consistent, something that is small. When you go on this journey, it is not a quick fix. It is not a quick, okay, I'm going to start doing this and I'm going to feel better. It is something that you're showing up for every single day because going from sad to savage is changing your lifestyle, changing your everyday, changing your thoughts slowly, right? But it's something that requires you to show up every day. And I'm not saying you have to make it the hardest thing in the world and that's the only way it's going to work. But what I'm saying is that it is not, it is something I need you to put a little, as much as you can, a little bit of effort into every single day, and that effort will compound. Now, here is where we get to kind of the homework of this episode. What I want you to do is we're going to take a few seconds. And again, remember the worksheet is in the description of this episode if you want to tap on it and get it. But I want you to write out what are you struggling with and what do you want to work on? What is that sad phase? What does the sad look like to you right now? What is no longer serving you? What is one thing that you can improve on? What is one thing that you want to change about your life? I want you to write it out and get detailed and get specific about what your sad phase looks like right now. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to write out what does the savage version of yourself look like? Who is she? There's a couple of reasons why we're doing this. One is so that we can get clear on who you want to become, right? Sometimes we just get confused. Like we want to change our lives, but we don't even know what that looks like. So how could we possibly get there if we don't know what it is we want to work towards or where we want to focus on first? Break it down and focus on what the savage version of you looks like. What does the happiest version of you look like? The second reason why we're doing this is when you intentionally think about the future that you want and you start aligning with those emotions of that future version of you, you will actually start to rewire your brain and your body to match that reality. To change, you need to be aligned with that future version of you. So I'm asking you, who is the savage version of you? How does she feel? How does she think? How does she act? What does she look like? How does she make others feel? How does she feel? What is that dream version of you? What does it look like? I remember sitting in bed and like laying there and thinking and being like, I want to be a health and wellness girly. You guys, I was not who I am today. I was nothing close to 5 years ago. You can hand build yourself. You can pick the pieces of your life and slowly grow into them and learn how to literally shapeshift. I wanted to be a health and wellness girly. I wanted to be someone that woke up at 5 a.m. I never asked my family, asked my friends, asked my college roommate. God bless her. I think about her all the time. I'm like, she got the worst version of me. I never was an early morning person. I would stay up until 2 to 3 a.m. every single night. I would sleep in on the weekend. Sometimes I would sleep until 2 p.m. But I let life happen to me and I did not know who I even wanted to be. I decided I wanted to wake up early. I wanted to learn about nutrition. I wanted to take care of my body. I wanted to have positive thoughts. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to feel healthy. All of these things I got clear on, and it made the steps, the small steps that I needed to take so much easier once I understood it, because then I knew it was meant for me. Whatever, this is something I actually love talking about. Whatever life you want for yourself, the thing that you think about in bed that you're like, oh, the calling that you feel towards something, it is meant for you. Me and you, we might not have the same one. Maybe we have the exact same one, which would make sense because you're listening to my podcast. So we clearly align on some things. But think about this. Whatever you feel called to is so specific to you. Now, if you don't believe in God, that is totally okay. I just don't know another way to explain this. But God puts what is meant for you in your heart and in your mind. And there's a reason why, whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's the universe, there is a reason why you have the dream. You have this version of you, this thought, this idea of what your life should be. There's a reason, and you can get there. We're going to figure out how to get there. What we have is we have the sad version of us and we have the savage version of us. Now, while there could be 50 things and you go, you know what, I want to change everything. I want to go 0 to 100. I want to change my life overnight. There's a long laundry list of what I need to do to get to that savage, from sad to savage. We're going to hold up and we're going to pick one thing. One thing, because starting is the most important part. Starting is going to change your life. When we choose one thing and we show up for ourselves every single day and we slowly start building discipline and we slowly start seeing that we're not relying on mood or motivation, we're relying on doing what we tell ourselves we'll do, we're relying on creating a habit, that is when you're going to trust yourself, you're going to learn, you're going to grow, and you are going to change your life. We're going to go over a mini lesson on creating or changing habits. This is the information that helped me change my entire life. In life, everything that we do essentially comes down to our habits. Everything is a habit. When you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands after, that's a habit. When you wake up and brush your teeth, that's a habit. When you go in the office and you get coffee at 3 p.m., that's a habit. Everything that you do comes back to your habits. Now, in a habit loop, there's a cue, a routine, and a reward. And it follows this cycle over and over until you form a habit. A cue is a trigger. It's whatever starts the habit loop. The routine is the habitual behavior that you've taught yourself and that you do. And the reward is the why. It is what is driving the habit loop. It is why you're doing this action when you get that cue. In a habit loop, the most important thing to know is that the cue and reward are linked. So when you get a cue, you do the routine that you've taught yourself in order to get the reward. When you get that cue, you want the reward. So what's so crazy is that you can specifically create a habit by deliberately picking a cue, a routine, and a reward and repeating it over and over and over until you engrave that pathway in your brain and that habit becomes an autopilot thing that you do and show up for. Or you can strategically change a habit by swapping out the routine, because in a habit loop, that cue, routine, and reward going over and over and over again, you're doing the cue to get the reward. So if you swap out the routine, you're still going and doing the cue and getting the reward. Now, I know that was probably a lot. I black out when I talk about habits. Let's just say it that way. Like I'm like, brrr, like everything just takes over because it's literally a habit at this point. I talk about it so much. Let's break down, if we were to create the habit of reading every single day, we would strategically pick a cue, a routine, and a reward and create that habit loop, because what we'd want to do is turn that action of reading every day into a habit, into an automatic behavior. For example, in my life, I work out every day, I go on a walk every day, I eat healthy, I journal, I write a to-do list. All of those things took months. Some took weeks, some took months to create as a habit, but now those are second nature to me. I don't have to think about it. I do it. My body is used to it. I have trained myself to do these things. It's the same as like when you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands after, you're not thinking about it. There's not like a debate. Like You do it. You've taught yourself how to do it. Like when you go in the shower and you go and wash your hair and you reach for the shampoo, you reach for the conditioner, then you reach for your face wash, then you reach for your razor, whatever order you have trained your brain to do that as a habit. You could be listening to music and not have to consciously choose to do those things. It would just happen. That's what a habit is. If we wanted to create the habit of reading, we would get very specific with each of the cue, routine, and reward. So the cue would be the trigger, the time, the thing. So if we wanted to start reading, say you want to pick the cue of 8 p.m. Monday through Friday after you get into bed. Once you do that action, the routine would come next. You would get detailed with it and say, I will pick up my Kindle, I'll pick up my book, and I will read 10 pages in bed. Then you'll say, okay, what is the reward that I'm doing? Is it that for me, I love reading fantasy before bed? The reward would be this spike in dopamine because I'm reading, I'm in another world, or I'm reading a self-help book. I'm really proud of myself and I'm growing and I'm learning, or I'm relaxing myself before bed. I'm getting ready for bed. A reward could be anything that you're getting out of this habit loop, anything to you. My reward for reading before bed could be that I'm going to fall asleep. I'm not going to stay up late on my phone. I'm not going to have anxiety. I'm going to have so much more confidence. I'm going to have a better day because I'm going to get more sleep, right? When you're creating a habit, you pick specific things for each of those 3 things. And then from there, you repeat it over and over and over and over and engrave that in your brain. So for example, picture if you were walking in snow outside and you're walking in that circle. That's how you're engraving the habit loop in your brain. If you do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, that pathway is going to be so clear. It's going to be so easy for you to follow the more that you do it and the more that you practice it. Now, if you want to change a habit, say you want to create the habit of reading, but you look at yourself and you say, I want to read before bed. Right now, I've got a bad habit of doom scrolling before bed. You would figure out what your habit loop is. Say it's cue at 10 p.m. when I get into bed, Monday through Friday. My current routine is picking up my phone and scrolling on TikTok all night. And then my reward is I have these quick hits of dopamine because I'm on TikTok. But ultimately, it's kind of triggering another habit loop of having anxiety because I stayed up all night on my phone. How you would change that habit loop is you would change the routine. So you would swap it out with something else to try, right? So here we go. Let's do this again. The cue, getting in bed at 10 p.m. Say we swap it with reading 10 pages. The reward is you're still getting dopamine, right? But you've then changed that habit loop. You're kind of interjecting into a habit loop you have and changing it. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm breaking my habits. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You can't break a habit, but you can change a habit. Now, think about any bad habit that you've tried to break that it hasn't worked. It's because that pathway is engraved in your brain. And while you can breed new neurons in your brain, you can change old habit loops. That's why people will say, old habits die hard. Old habits die screaming. If you're a Taylor Swift fan like me, changing a habit will set you up for success. Now, those little formulas will be in the worksheet. If I'm a very visual person, I need to see things like that. So download that worksheet so that you can also kind of work through this. But I want to go over some habits that you can start thinking about and start building for your own life today that you could start working on to help you on that sad to savage journey. I want you to choose one thing that you're going to show up for 1 week, 7 days in a row. No matter what, you're going to show up and do this thing. You're starting small and you're going to prove to yourself that you can do it. And you're going to give your brain and body enough time to see that sometimes the procrastination of it is the hardest part. When you actually show up and do it, you'll be like, wait, that was kind of easy. Or wait, I actually feel a million times better. Or wait, I'm really proud of myself, right? We're going to give ourselves 7 days to feel those new feelings while we're aligned with the savage version of ourselves. So here are some habits, and I'll give you the cue, routine, and reward as well. Say you want to focus on your mental health. So you're going to get sunlight outside in the morning every day. The cue could be right after you wake up and you feed your dog. You're going to go outside. The routine is standing outside and just breathing, leaving your phone inside and just taking a minute to yourself. The reward is maybe you have a mood or energy boost, or you feel more grounded. Maybe you want to focus on feeling more organized, like you're kind of messy and chaotic, and you want to focus on having a cleaner space for a cleaner mind. You could start making your bed. That habit loop would look like cue when you get up out of bed in the morning, routine, spending 2 minutes to make your bed, and then the reward, maybe you feel better because you have a clean space. Your reward might be that you're not getting back into bed because it's already made, or maybe your reward is that you take a picture of it and you have proof of the fact that you're aligning with someone who cleans up after themselves, who cares about their space. Maybe you want to work on your physical health. The habit loop that you could create is say, I'm going to start going on a 10-minute walk, right? We don't have to go 0 to 100 and say, I want to work on my physical health. I need to work out 10 days a week, every single day for 10 hours a day. You can say, I'm going to start going on a 10-minute walk. I'm going to build that as a habit, and then I'm going to grow upon it. The cue could be every single day at 12 o'clock during lunchtime. The routine could be, I'm going to go outside and walk for 10 minutes. And the reward is maybe you're working towards a healthier life. Maybe you're giving yourself stress release. Maybe you're working towards more steps, which is helping you get towards your goal. Maybe it's a hit of endorphins because you're working out. Your habit loop is specific to you. And something else that I want to say is that sometimes we'll pick a habit that we're going to work on and we'll write out the habit loop and we'll do it a couple times and say, you know what? I actually got to change that. You are going to fail 1,000 times, and all that matters is that you fail and you go, you know what, that didn't work. What can I try next? What can I learn from this? Because the more that you fail, the closer you are going to get to what works for you. There might be a habit that you're like, you know what, that was really easy. That clicked in a week. And there will be a habit that takes 4 months that you're like, why can't I figure this out? I keep failing, I keep da-da-da-da-da. And you get to the point where it clicks and you go, those 4 months of struggling, thank God, 4 months of struggling for 5 years of happiness and more. There are going to be habits that test you and try you. But what is so important is being okay with failing, because failing is learning and failing is growing. Maybe you want to work on your brain, your thoughts, your self-confidence, and you want to start writing affirmations every day. Your cue could be every morning when you're making a pot of coffee. Okay, who's making a pot of coffee? Actually, my sister and my brother-in-law, they make a pot of coffee every single day. No hate if you make a whole pot of coffee. Maybe your cue is when you make coffee in the morning. Your routine could be writing 5 affirmations that align with the savage version of yourself. And the reward could be you're working on your mental health, you're working on your identity, you are working on your confidence. And you did that before starting your workday. Now, I'm going to have examples of different habits that you could choose in the worksheet that you can download. I want you, before ending this episode, to sit down, I guess you could end the episode. Just within 5 minutes of ending this episode, I want you to sit and get this worksheet and work through this. What is your sad? What is your savage? And what is the small habit that you're going to show up and start doing over the next 7 days? Going from sad to savage, starting this journey is the best thing that I have ever done in my entire life for myself. I want this for you. I know that this life is also for you. You have the power to change your entire life. You have the power right now, today, to choose to show up for yourself. Whatever you've done in the past, remember what I said about failing, whatever did not work for you, okay, amazing. That is something that you can learn from. You can say, okay, I'm trying it differently. Okay, I'm committing this time. Okay, I'm trying it this way. I'm going to get up and try again. I'm not going to give myself a 60-minute. Whatever it is, I need you to choose you today, right now, because I know that you can. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm so happy to be back with you. Thank you for joining me for the first episode of season 4. There is so much to come, and I cannot wait just for the growth that we'll experience together this season. Make sure you're following along with me on socials. I post about habits and routines. I just love sharing about it, and I love getting to talk to you guys. And also, if you want to watch the episodes, I have them uploaded on YouTube, and don't forget to download today's little worksheet linked in the bio. Bye. Wait, also, my dad always, whenever he calls me on the phone, goes, bye.